Hey, so there's a trend in right-wing conservatism that I'd like to point out. They're only right-wing conservative and protect the traditionalist values until progress hits home personally. Think of someone like Dick Cheney, who was literally ascended to one of the highest offices in his party and built himself on conservative, so-called conservative, anti-progressive values, of which gay rights was labeled one of them. But what happens when you actually have a queer kid? What happens when you have a racism that you're racist until your kid comes home with someone of a different race or religion or caste? And so what we're looking at is a very serious empathy gap. Why are they only conservative about environmentalism, for example, until it hits home? We even talk about some of the poorest people in the United States, for example, who will vote with conservative elite leaders, and yet those leaders have no value for their labor, no value for their work. So what we're really looking at is an empathy gap. They can't see straight until it hits them personally. So on the day where it feels like progress, the conservatives like Mitch McConnell, like Rand Paul, and I mention those because I'm a Kentuckian, where it feels like they've stood in the way of progress. Remember all those times when those people, those conservative leaders, stood there, lied through their teeth, betrayed their own kin and clan until they could not betray them any longer. Think far back as Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings and all the people who were loving black people and slave owners at the same time. All the clergymen who were upholding conservative values that were dominant at the time. How those people stood by and watched their men beat and own their women. Think about it. It only hits them when it hits home. So I ask you, don't despair. I truly ask you to use the power of empathy and empathize with them. See them for what they are, the hypocrites. But you can't say that to their face because you know they're good at putting up arms. They would rather see themselves limbless, cut off, rather than grant you the right to live unless you're just like them.